What up, guys? This is Zach.
Hey, this is Kyle.
Welcome again to New Angle Sports Talk. Today we're going to be recapping the game that just finished up, the Thunder and the Portland Trailblazers series. Game 2 now. Yeah. By the way, sorry about not having a video out yesterday. We had some issues with the sound application that we were working. It just randomly quit working. I don't really know how any other way to put it, but let's just go ahead and jump right in.
Yeah, we didn't forget about you guys.
We didn't forget. We were very, very worried.
Yes, we're very sorry. We will try not to let it happen again.
Yeah.
But yeah, we're gonna talk about this game, the Thunder Trailblazers. It was not much of a game for the Thunder, but as the first game, our deficiency on the at the 3-point shot was very evident again tonight, and that's kind of why we got.
That's the story. That's the big story here. Yeah, I mean, they started off first quarter 31-26, so they were up by 5. They were up by a little bit more, I think. And then,
we got up to as much as 11.
Yeah, 11. Yeah, and then Portland came back, hit some threes, and then ended the half at 31-26.
Damian Lillard.
That guy, he always does it, doesn't he?
I know.
He's a killer. But anyways, yeah, so essentially, like Kyle said, the story of the game is really just 3-point percentage. Kyle, go ahead and review these numbers with us, what the percentages were and everything.
Yeah, I know first game we shot 15%, and this game we definitely improved up to 17.9%.
Almost 18.
Woo! Yeah, good job, Billy Donovan, getting us prepared for that. You know, we killing it. You know, maybe next game we can get up to 19. You know, so 5 for 28. While the Trailblazers shot 13 for 32, had a paltry, was a 49. Is that 49?
What the percentage?
40, it's 40.6.
40.6.
Man,
yeah.
I need some glasses.
You're good.
40%, and that was the big tell of the game right there. The free throw shots were pretty close, other than the fact that we had a lot more free throws. We had 28 compared to their 21, but they shot 81% compared to our 68%. So that was kind of another fun fact.
Yeah, I think that after game 1, the certain areas where they needed to improve on, like offensive rebound, for example, some of those areas definitely were improved. They led in total rebounds, also specifically with offensive rebounds. They had 5 more offensive rebounds than Portland did. So they were able to control some of the game, or some of the strategy that the Portland had in game 1. They obviously kept more people back to get those offensive rebounds that have second chance points, and obviously a lot of that had to do with Enes Kanter, where this game, a lot of players, a lot of your big men specifically, had a lot of foul trouble early. That's the part of the game where the Thunder have to excel at and have to get better. Like, if your team is in the penalty in the third quarter, why are we still shooting threes? Why don't we get to the paint, and why don't we get buckets, easy buckets that way? If your big men are in foul trouble, why not, when they get back on the court, specifically highlight some of the plays towards Paul George or Russell Westbrook posting up if they have a mismatch with a bigger man on there, or Steven Adams as well too, or anybody really, getting the ball to whoever is guarding the person that has the foul trouble on there, highlighting those guys on your offensive plan, and just trying to draw fouls as much as you can.
Right.
The fouls were equal at 27-27. Like Kyle mentioned, though, the Thunder did shoot more free throws, though. But as a whole, though, it was a pretty evenly called game. They did excel in the assists category. Blocks were even. Turnovers, we had more turnovers, and the steals, we didn't have as many steals, though. However, we crushed them. Well, I wouldn't say we crushed them, but we had 10 more points in the paint than they did as well, too. So really what they did, seems like they always play their game plan, the Portland Trailblazers do, where they hit threes consistently. Not that they typically shoot a ton of threes. They did shoot 32, which is, I would consider that's a pretty good amount of threes. But they hit the threes was the big part, and I think they kept with their game plan. They knew how to execute. They got the 50-50 balls, and just really played their game plan. But Kyle, if you'll highlight some of the key matchups that you saw tonight, let us know what you think on the Trailblazers side.
So some of the key matchups I saw, Damian Lillard and Russell Westbrook, they guarded each other a lot. And Damian Lillard pretty much did whatever he wanted against Russ. So there's a couple different instances where Russ would just be kind of jogging up the floor, not really trying on defense, and then Damian Lillard would just hit a three. There was a big one in the second quarter where it ended up being a 4-point play. That kind of was a turning point, I feel like, for the Trailblazers. CJ McCollum as well. He was killer tonight. He seemed to make every damn shot he took. It was ridiculous. Enes Kanter wasn't as big of a factor tonight. He only had 6 points compared to last game. I believe he had 18.
How many fouls did he end up? Was it 4 or 5?
Yeah, I think he had 4 or 5 fouls. He got in foul trouble rather quickly.
He was one of those guys that got in foul trouble.
Yeah, most definitely. And I think that attributed to a lot of why we had more rebounds than last game, as well as we had a little bit more points in the paint because a lot of their big guys got in foul trouble quickly. But yeah, Russell Westbrook was quite inefficient per usual. What was his? Yeah, he had 14 points, 11 assists, 8 rebounds. Doesn't sound horrible, but if you look at his shooting numbers, I want to say he shot around probably 25 to 30% on the night. I'll get the exact numbers up for you guys. Paul George, I know they were saying before the game he was kind of nursing a shoulder injury, but it didn't look like he had much issues with his shoulder. He was by far our best player. Him and Dennis Schroeder. He was a nice spark plug for us off the bench. What did you notice in the game tonight? What was some keys that you saw that for the Thunder Trailblazers that you kind of keyed on?
Yeah, I mean, same thing. CJ McCollum obviously he was a scoring leader tonight. He had a lot of good. He had a good game tonight with his points and everything like that. But I just saw totally different teams play tonight. One played with more cohesiveness, one with more sharing the ball, one with a game plan, things like that. I don't know if it goes back to coaching or if it comes back to players just not being locked in or players not executing because they can't execute for whatever reason. I don't know. However, the Thunder team obviously is a playoff team. They've got a good crew around them. But they just couldn't execute tonight, and that's really the kind of the story right now is that it used to be that they played down to their opponent, but I don't think they can get that excuse anymore. Now they do, and a lot of times in the regular season, and that's true. However, like you also don't play up to your opponent right now either. Like the Trailblazers, there really isn't a reason why you're not tied at least 1-1 right now, because both games, you didn't make adjustments to guarding or to getting offensive rebounds, to eliminating offensive rebounds to the Trailblazers, eliminating the effectiveness of Enes Kanter, getting people in foul trouble as well too. However, you still can't shoot threes. Like, okay, if you cannot shoot threes, quit shooting threes. I get it. You need to shoot threes to win, but you're not making threes. One game you were 10% or 15%, whatever, and the second game you're almost 18%. It's like quit shooting threes if you cannot shoot threes. Okay. Like I know that this is a 3-point league. You got to shoot threes. However, it's not like every three that they shot and they missed was wide open because a lot of them weren't. They were heavily contested threes. A lot of times what happened is Russell Westbrook got the ball. He came up the court. There was one possession in the third quarter that I specifically pulled out to you or mentioned to you where it's 3-on-1. Okay, slow down, don't shoot it. And then what does he do? He shoots a three. Like, have patience. Run the offense like you need to run it. It's in the playoffs. Okay, we're in the playoffs now. Everything slows down in the playoffs. Execution matters. Running plays matters. Team chemistry matters. Defensive communication matters. Whenever you're in the regular season, sometimes you can skate by that and maybe it's not a big deal, but specifically in the playoffs, it makes a huge difference. And if you can't get this, down, if you can't communicate defensively, if you can't take smart shots, if you can't share the ball, things like that as well too. You're not going to get out of the first round. And at this point, it's only 2 games down. You still have to go back to Oklahoma City to play the next 2 as well.
Yep.
But if they can't shoot threes, Or, and as a matter of fact, just quit shooting threes altogether unless you're wide, stinking open, and just pack the paint, get it in the paint, and get layups in mid-range if you need to. But find your shot, whatever that shot is. If it's a mid-range, I know people say don't shoot mid-range, get layups and threes. But if that's your shot, and you obviously don't go to your weaknesses and shoot threes if you can't shoot threes. Get in the paint, shoot layups, get layups, cut to the basket, throw alley-oops all day if you want to. I love to see alley-oops, but if you're not shooting threes, just quit shooting threes because it's so much more frustrating. And your team goes like your ego, not your ego, but your chemistry comes down when you're just jacking up stupid shots and you're not getting the other players involved.
Yeah, I mean we've only made 11 3-pointers in 2 games. I mean that is ridiculous. And what the hell happened to Russell Westbrook of old? I mean, he's flying down the court and then sees a guy one-on-one, and then he stops. And I'm like, no, dude, just keep running. Go to the layup or dunk.
Yeah.
Draw the foul. I mean, that needs to be his game. Stop passing the ball out to a contested player in the paint. If you're one-on-one, just go for it. They're going to call the foul, most typically. Terrence Ferguson thought he was, trying to trade shots with C.J. McCollum from the three-point line.
It was Ray Allen.
I'm like, dude, Ferguson, just stop, okay? I mean, this is getting a little ridiculous. But yeah, I mean, we're not out of this by any means. I mean, we have a awesome home crowd here at Oklahoma City, so let's hope that helps us get the W in our next game. But yeah, if we don't start playing better on-ball defense and actually hitting some shots, it's gonna turn nasty for us. So any last thoughts?
No, that's it. I mean, I don't think that the Trailblazers shot 40% from three. I don't think that was outrageous. That when they were playing on their home court. All their fans are excited. They had a really good game one in the series. It's expected for them to still remain hot and stuff. And they actually got to a slow start, like we said, in the first quarter. And then they kind of came back in the second quarter. And then, Damian Lillard hit the clutch shot to buzzer beater at the end of this first half. But, it's not – you can still win the game if the opponent's shooting 40% from three. But it felt like especially in the second half that they just made every single three that they shot, and it's really really crazy. But I feel the same way. But yeah, I mean, moving forward, just take better shot. I think it's just shot selection. I think that's all it is. Like you can survive with them getting threes. I know on ball defense, you always have to preach that. But they're going to make shots. They're pros, and a lot of times they're getting wide open shots. So just defensive communication obviously is one that should be preached on every single game you go into, but specifically is just find your shot in game 3. You got the hometown crowd next to you. We're cheering for you. We got your back, in Chesapeake. So just find your shot, and I think it'll be fine.
Yep, perfect. Well, you guys, we'll have another video up for you. Are we gonna have one up for tomorrow?
Tomorrow, yep.
Yeah, so we're trying to cover as many of the games as possible. So we really appreciate your guys' support as always. Like, share, subscribe, tell your friends. Like New England Sports. We got Facebook, YouTube, Twitter.
Yep.
Follow us. We're going to have as much content as possible out there. So we really appreciate you guys again. And, yeah, you guys have a good one.
See you guys.